Titua, call me Mama Lisa, call me the Seven Sisters because I am a shapeshifter. Call me by your name, cousin. I am you. In African and Caribbean ritual, we are centric. Men bow to us, they worship us, they pray to us, they sing to us in pain. We were born into the circle of the divine feminine. We are creativity, we are the muse, we are power. The sun rises and sets by our breath as we breathe life into being. There is no light until we decide to push. We are women. Welcome to this communal space. This is all about the future, but I'm asking you today to look to the past. Women birthed in circles because that communal space was about giving life. It was about community. One of the things that I've learned in the last few years is that community truly can pour into you and lift you up. I have a question for you. Why did you come here today? Was it just to better your business? Or are you also here for your fellow businesswomen to support and be supported? If the pandemic taught us anything, it's that we can make connection in any space. In the last 2 years, I have learned that I love connecting. It is my superpower. I love building community. It is where I thrive. Community can pull you out of the deepest, darkest depression. The circles that I have intertwined myself into have been my saving grace. They can be yours too. There are so many places that we forget to look, that we dwell in shadows for far too long, that we forget what light looks like. Your sister can be the light. Your cousin can be the light. Your aunties can be the light. Your nieces can be the light. And I'm not talking about bloodlines, although there probably are some ancestral linkage in these rooms. I am talking about mentorship. I am talking about allyship. I am talking about your fellow businesswoman, your fellow student, your fellow womankind, just sitting next to you. We work in fellowship with others because when you have like-minded people next to you who understand what you are going through, it lifts you up. How many times have you been somewhere and you see another brown face and you have breathed a sigh of relief because you felt recognized? When you see a reflection of yourself in another, there's relief. I remember the day I realized I had 5 best friends that didn't know each other. They just didn't. My relationships were an amalgamation of the various stages of my life: mom, sister, childhood, college, all the friends that I had gained over the years. My best friends didn't know that I'd been given the title of best friend long before I was ready to commit to such devotion. I remember listening to a podcast by 3 of the women from my alma mater, my college. And they were talking about how cliquish our all-women college was. I remember being flabbergasted because I thought that it was basically this wonderfully strict sorority. That's what campus felt like to me. It felt like a place where you could be uplifted. It felt like a place where you could be supported and inspired. And here are these 3 women that I felt were strong Black women who I saw doing great things on campus. And they did not agree. They didn't have a good time on campus. They saw it as cliquish, as catty, and as a place that would pull you down. So when I saw one of these women, I asked, I said, how did we have such a different experience? Where is this, how did we have such a diverse memory? And she said, of course, Shay, of course, you got along with everybody. And I was floored, but she was right. Because even though not everyone's cup of tea, I am the type of person that wants to like and be liked by everyone. I don't want one best friend, I want all best friends. Because my core value is community. And that's what I do. I build communities wherever I go. And I've learned that when you can build a community, when you can find those people that look like you or think like you or want what you want, you can thrive. And I feel like that's what was missing for these 3 women at that time. They couldn't find people that thought the way they did. They had people that looked like them, but they didn't have people that thought like them. Now, just 2 years ago, I was crippled by depression, anxiety, and what was eventually diagnosed as PTSD. I am the only Black woman in my house. I have a daughter, but I'm the only Black woman in my house. I'm the only business owner. I'm the only mother, the only wife, the only daughter of a Black single mother. There is no one in my home who understands that intersection of my lived experience. But I'll bet there are many of you in this room who do. Don't get me wrong. I have plenty of familial support at home. My kids love me. My 14-year-old thinks I am a cool mom. And I think right now, there is nothing like a 14-year-old thinking you're cool, okay? My 8-year-old calls me Mom CEO, which is beautiful. And I call my man Dr. Husband because he has a PhD in me. But my husband doesn't wade in the waters of Blackness. He doesn't birth babies. And he doesn't yearn for underwire that doesn't snatch your soul. I was having anxiety attacks multiple times a month. And the only thing that would bring me solace was my husband's bear hugs. But when he's commuting 2 hours a day, that solace was hard to come by. So I found myself having false starts in my business. Relationships were falling by the wayside. I was crying after phone calls with my mother because I did not know how to protect my space. I did not know how to protect myself from negative conversations with the people that I was ingrained in. I let their negativity become my negativity. I let their hurt become my pain. I carried the weight of others without concerning myself with my own mental health, with my own emotional health. It wasn't until I got writer's block, of all things, that my namesake in this writer's group, in a writer's group, asked me, she said, when you write and you're blocked, where does that feeling sit in your body? And recognizing that I was writing about my own upbringing, I realized that I was writing about the very first community I was ever a part of, home. And I was writing about a poisonous time in my life, a time when I didn't feel protected, a time when I had to mother myself. I was writing about a time when gun violence was at an all-time high in my neighborhood. My protector was fighting back within me, just writing about it. And so building up that wall was so strong and so innate and so ingrained in me that I couldn't even write at it. And my subconscious had taken over. I've been asking me that question. She had unknowingly turned a key and unlocked something in me. I started going to therapy and learned that all of these communities that I had put myself in had brought me to this point. The realization that I came to was that these communities have served me so hard. There are many spaces that we find ourselves in that are poisonous, and we have to pull ourselves out. But we can get there. That story I was writing was too close to home. It was too close to home. I found myself doing everything in my power not to be like home. I lived in the suburbs as opposed to gangland. It was a vibrant juxtaposition to how I grew up. My children were allowed to have opinions. I know, not something a Black mom usually allows. I own my own business, several businesses. And my family still does not understand what it is that I do. But as I say to many people, your family doesn't need to understand what you do. Just like you don't need to understand the mechanics of basketball to cheer your son on at a game. You don't need that. That's not what community is. Community is supporting someone when they need it and supporting them in the way they need support. You don't have to understand what it is they do. You have to understand what it is they need. That is community. In order for us to move forward, community building is where it's at. We have to be able to lift each other up and pull up the next one. There are 3 communities that every entrepreneur needs in order to thrive. You need a professional community, those like-minded individuals, those business partners, those people who are on the same path or slightly ahead on the path than you. You need your personal, that's your family, your friends. Those are the people who need to understand your boundaries. If you've got a man or a woman and you need them to watch the kids so that you can have your 3 hours in the morning, tell them that. They don't need to understand what you do. They don't need to understand why you're making tutus at 2 o'clock in the morning. But they need to understand that if you say, I'm making tutus at 2 o'clock in the morning, I need you to give me that space. That's how they can support you. And then there's your intrapersonal tribe. That's you. That is a tribe of one. You have to understand you. You have to support you. You have to make your own boundaries. Because if you don't understand that tribe of one, then those other 2 communities are not going to know how to serve you. They're not going to know, you're not going to know what to tell them. If I live life at a 10 and you live life at a 5, but you don't know that you live life at a 5, how are you going to tell me that you can't get up here? You've got to be able to tell people that you can't live life at a 10. I'm vibrant, I'm loud, but if you live life at a 5, I'm not for you, okay? Or you gotta tell me you live life at a 5 so I can come down to your level. It's much harder for you to come up here than it is for me to come down there. So that's why the interpersonal tribe is the most important. You gotta understand yourself. You gotta do self-care and you gotta do self-restoration. Self-restoration is very important to the intrapersonal tribe. What I'm offering is a way for you to cultivate these communities. Get out there to conferences, talk to people. I'm hoping today that you find 5 women. If you see somebody in the comments saying something that you were just about to say, look for her, connect with her, talk to her offline, off of this platform, and do that all 5 days. And then by the end of this summit, you'll have 25 women in your community that you have something in common with. You all did the Blaze Summit. That's 25 women. 5 women today, 5 women the next day, the next. Okay? That's 25 women that you can reach out to. I'll even give you a way to track her. I'll just add that. I'll give you a way to track her. You'll be able to do that. Okay? Build those communities, build those connections. Advocate, support, and inspire these women, and then let them do the same to you, for you, with you. Pour into them and let them pour into you, because that is the future of women, and that is how we will continue to build communities, because we are the backbone. There's nothing like walking into a room and knowing that if I needed to pull this wig off, I could, because y'all understand it gets itchy sometimes. I know that because that's just the type of space this is. That's the community that I am in. Those are the spaces I show up. I show up in places where people understand me. And that's what I want for every other woman. Thank you.
Man, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. Sharon, bring you to the stage, mama. All I got to say is you are life. Like, listen. Hey, girl.
The hair is gone.
But the red is there.
But the red is here, baby.
Giving. That was so dope, Sharon. I'm not gonna belabor this. I'm gonna let the folk interact with you, y'all. If y'all want to come on stage and talk to Sharon, please do. There is 6 minutes before the DJ session. I gotta start that on time. So please raise your hand. Don't be scared. There's actually somebody raising their hand, Sharon, and they're going. All right, don't be scared, y'all. Don't be scared, y'all. I'm going to put a question on the stage. I think this one is for me. Y'all keep them coming. How do we invite others to the summit? Great question. Anybody can pull up before it ends on Sunday. They just need to go to blazevirtualsummit.com. It's free. It's free $99. We deserve all the things, so we get all the things up in here. Blazevirtualsummit.com. All right. Is there anybody that wants to ask Sharon a question, to give her any, whatever? I ain't even gonna feed y'all. Whatever y'all want to do. The time is now. The star is here. Sharon, I have a question for you. Okay. You just move like a poet, sis. What do you do in the creative space?
I am a writer by passion. I used to work with writers a lot, and I still do. I co-facilitate a writers group, and so I'm constantly in that creative space. I'm actually certified as a professional virtual author's assistant. So I've worked with authors. I've been written up as one of the resources for self-publishing authors. I've been in that creative space for a long time. Everybody in my family is a creative. My father is an actor and comedian. My uncle is an amazing jazz musician. I guess it's in the blood, and it just comes out. We are a performative family. My cousin is in the comments, and she can tell you we're a performative family.
Come on, cousin. Y'all dope. So we got women lining up to talk to you. I'm going to hand the mic to Aaliyah. Aaliyah, your world when you get up here.
Can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Hi. I just relocated from Chicago to Texas.
Hey.
And I did that because I wanted to take a leap of faith and just show God that I'm not afraid of the anointing He has over my life and the calling that He called to me. I know I couldn't prosper in that space in Chicago. Too much negativity. My little brother was killed. Yada, yada, yada. Fast forward, Sharon, you were amazing. You inspired me about your pain. I direct message you and everything. It's giving stalker right now because I feel so like God led me to this place. And I'm supposed to be at work right now, y'all, but I couldn't afford to get there today. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to be down on my luck. I'm going to join this summit. I'm gonna connect with some women today, and we gonna get it going. I want to be a writer. I am going to be a writer and a world-renowned speaker. And I would love to connect with any of the women. I would definitely want to join the writing group. I'm talking fast because I know we got like 3 minutes, and I don't want to take up nobody else's space, but I would love to connect, Sharon. I do want to join the writers group. I am not afraid. I am not shy. I do live my life on a 10. I'm always in a positive space, despite what it's looking like. I could be given negative $2,000 and I'm still here. You know, like I look beyond what I can see. I know God is building me up. So yes, I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to connect. I love everybody in the comments. Casey, thank you so much for bringing us here. You all did an amazing job. I'm here all day, all weekend. It's that.
Glad to have you here, cousin.
Energy. Thank you.
I call everybody cousin. I just want y'all to know that it's a family.
Okay, we are cousins. We are cousins.
Look, we all at the cookout. We meeting. We find out Uncle Ray got cousins. Got kids everywhere. That's all it is.
All that. Thank you, Aaliyah. And I'm gonna pull up. We got like 60 seconds, Nina. I'm pulling Nina up. Nina wants to say something.
Hello, Nina Scott.
Hello. All right, with the correct pronunciation. Thank you so much, Sharon. Love that. I know we got 60 seconds or less than that now. Casey, you know I love you, but Sharon, I just wanted to give you flowers.
Oh, thank you.
Flowers, and let you hear them and not have to scroll through the love in the chats. Your words, your breaths, your energy, everything that came from that message felt needed, necessary, empowering, motivating, enlightening, loving, caring, all of the above. So continue to do what you are doing. Do not stop. Because you are necessary, sis. We call everybody sis over here. So
hey, it's fine. I'll take sis.
Do what you do, sis, and do not stop because you are necessary and you are needed. You are loved and supported.
Thank you.
Ashe. Thank you so much, Nina. Thank y'all so much. We got to bounce to the doggone DJ set. I'm excited about this because it's the dirty spinning right now. Sharon, I love you, mama. I'll see you on the other side.
You.
Thank you.